This is episode 2 of Classic Guns of COD, and this is a good one. Today we are staying on the original Modern Warfare 3, and we are taking a look at the MP5A2. Yes, the MP5A2. It's the first submachine gun in the category, I believe. It's either this one or the UMP45. So everybody used this gun one time or another. They had no choice. And the ARs really weren't a go-to on some maps. Rust was not in the original MW3. This is just because it's plutonium, so they added it into the game. But the weapon was really good when it first came out. Very versatile. You threw on the kick slot with the suppressor, and it was a very good weapon. It was very manageable with the recoil, and all you had to do was just bum rush people. Like I said, Rust was not out with the original Modern Warfare 3, but you could just see how when you ADS a little bit downrange, it does take a little bit to kill when you're further away, but of course that's like with any submachine gun. But you could really play any way with this. You could camp a little bit, you could bum rush the enemy spawn and be a little slippery rat and stay loose, because they couldn't kill you with this. If you could see how fast I move compared to my teammates, and this is without extreme conditioning or without any type of perk like that. So the gun is really good movement-wise in a game that doesn't really have much movement, which is why I actually decided to stay on this game, because since this game doesn't have much movement, and this gun does a good way of demonstrating what it's good at, because it's not really the best when it comes to damage, it's not really the best when it comes to the magazine size, and if you can see, the iron sight is very clean. So the iron sight is a plus, the movement is a plus, the kick is not really, much. It's not really a submachine gun with a lot of recoil, unless you're going to use the PM9 in this game or something like that. So it was really underrated, flew under the radar, but if you had this in your class slot, you use this a lot. Trust me, I know. Just by playing this game, I know. This was the same type of gun like the first one that we did. The same type of gun like the CM901. If you did not have this in your class setup, you really weren't going to use it. So if you didn't like this gun aesthetically, or if you didn't like the way it performed for you, then you did not have this in your class setup a lot. It's just the way it was in the game. And that's why I like choosing guns like this, because this is just a normal MP5 with a quad rail, right? And the stock is a little bulky. That's it. It's just an aesthetic thing. Like, we could get into the gun's performance and all that. Like, it's obviously not going to beat the UMP or the MP7. Don't even get me started with that MP7. It's not even going to be close. But for someone that didn't want to use a meta weapon and wanted to prove that they actually had some skill, you threw this gun on like a map, let's say Arcaden, right? On Arcaden, you had escalators that led to the top of the enemy spawn and the bottom of the enemy spawn. But on Arcaden, you see, you could also go out to the right. There was a little like courtyard area. It was like a courtyard area, and you could also look up top from the mid part of the map where the enemy spawn connected to your spawn. So it was basically a vertical map. It was basically a vertical map with 3 lanes, and that's why it was really unique. But there really weren't a lot of open lane spaces unless you looked downrange in an enemy spawn. Alright, I don't know if that makes sense. So everywhere in the middle of the map, you were fighting either up and down an escalator or really around like a wall in the top section of the mall or whatever it was that we were playing on. So that's why you brought out a gun like this. It was a gun that you could really shoot around corners fast with. Like, look at that lineup. Okay, that's not really something that you can do really far down range with a submachine gun. And I know my aim's a little messed up, but still, like, it was getting them. It was really, like, a solid gun. So that's why I decided to stick with MW3, guys. This game had a lot of guns that flew under the radar because the meta weapons just took over. Like the ACR, the SCAR, and the UMP and the MP7. Those 4 weapons totally encapsulated this game. Everybody was using it at one point. And, like, don't even get me started with the MSR. We'll get probably an episode of that gun in. I'm trying to do, like, a bunch of random weapons first. But, yeah, so I'm going to let you guys go and enjoy the rest of the gameplay. There's about maybe half of the gameplay left that I'm not going to commentate on. Just like old school times. So, yeah, enjoy the rest of the gameplay. And like, subscribe for more. We're going to keep doing this series, guys. Thanks.
sweat. Nice work.